That pale green headset has become an icon, and those who wear it have something in common with Austrian daredevil Felix Baumgartner. Specifically, it has to do with the sophisticated pressure suit that kept Baumgartner alive as he broke the sound barrier in October.
GA pilots around the world will easily recognize what's in my hand here. This is what David Clark is known for.
The story behind this other David Clark product starts long before the company sold its first GA headset in 1975.
It has nothing to do with general aviation.
In 1960, Colonel Joe Kittinger successfully jumped from an open gondola at 102,800 feet. With Stratos, we sought to push that envelope higher and actually supported a mission wherein Felix Baumgartner, the balloon pilot, jumped from 128,100 feet successfully. This was a project that was conceived to evaluate the next generation of escape systems, including pressure suits that will be required to protect astronauts and aviators flying at extreme altitudes.
U-2 pilots wear David Clark pressure suits, still being made today, and David Clark has protected pilots and astronauts throughout the history of American aerospace.
And over the years, we've built a variety of different configurations of equipment, including capstan partial pressure suits, and full pressure suits. The archive room gives us the ability to preserve a lot of those designs. What you see here are versions of a lot of what we built.
It all started before Pearl Harbor, when David Clark learned pilots were blacking out in their new high-performance aircraft. He took this man's girdle, called the straightaway, straight off the shelf and stitched the bladder from a football into the belly and sent it to Washington as a prototype.
You'll notice that there are no seams here, and this was Dave's specialty, being able to weave materials that exhibited different physical properties in different areas.
Clark was soon competing with others, vying to perfect the G-suit that pilots would actually wear. This version, modeled by an unknown person, most likely a company employee, helped propel Clark's design into deployment.
And that fundamental design led to what is now the standard cutaway NIG suit that military pilots use every day when flying.
The headset you might wear today is descended from the ear protectors Clark developed for the U.S. Navy, urgently in need as the jet age arrived and the flight deck got loud and crowded. Officers worried men would lose their lives running around with fingers jammed in their ears.
We continue to provide equipment of this type that's used on modern-day flight decks, but it ultimately morphed into our commercial products line, wherein the hearing protectors were outfitted with earphones and microphones to allow two-way communication.
Up on the fourth floor, the innovation continued. The company developed and patented a special weave used for the inner lining of a pressure suit.
You'll notice the material is actually very, very lightweight and comfortable. It is a breathable material that allows water vapor, basically humidity and perspiration, to pass through, yet it still retains the air pressure required to protect the pilot in the event that he's exposed to a hyperbaric environment.
NASA has continued to turn to David Clark, and the company is also preparing for the advent of manned commercial spaceflight and space tourism. If you're one of those lucky tourists, you might find yourself wearing one of these.
This is what's referred to as the Contingency Hyperbaric Astronaut Protective Suit, or CHAPS. It's a very, very lightweight, comfortable, low-bulk suit that would afford hyperbaric protection to spaceflight participants. It's very lightweight, very comfortable. As you engage in these commercial spaceflight endeavors, you have to wear something. So our job is to provide you with something that affords you a level of protection but doesn't intrude on the experience.
Even if you don't get to fly like Felix.
We're very fortunate in this business because astronauts and aviators are our friends, and we take our job to protect them very seriously. We want them to go home at night and see their families, and it is a very, very personal thing. But anytime we can learn something to advance the state of the art and perhaps help future generations of astronauts and aviators, that's why we come in every day.
In Worcester, Massachusetts, I'm Jim Moore, AOPA Live.